Kene was an Osu, a term that marked him as an outcast in the Igbo society. Despite the stigma attached to his caste, he had always been a hardworking and kind-hearted man. He lived in a small hut on the outskirts of the village, where he made a modest living through farming and odd jobs. Ogechi, on the other hand, was from a wealthy and respected family. Her father was one of the most influential men in the village, and her family lived in a large compound at the center of the village. Ogechi was beautiful, educated, and beloved by everyone. But beneath her graceful exterior, she carried a rebellious spirit and a longing for true love. Their paths crossed one afternoon at the village market. Kene was busy selling yams, and Ogechi, drawn to his quiet demeanor and honest eyes, struck up a conversation. From that day on, they found excuses to meet, their bond growing stronger with each passing day. Despite the differences in their social status, love blossomed between them. However, their love was seen as an abomination. The Osu caste system forbade such relationships, and the villagers began to gossip. Ogechi's parents, upon learning of the affair, were furious. They summoned Ogechi to the main house and demanded an explanation. "Ogechi, what is this we are hearing?" her father thundered. "You have seen an Osu?" Ogechi, with tears in her eyes but resolve in her voice, replied, "Yes, Papa. I love Kene, and he loves me. I don't care about this caste system." Her mother gasped, clutched her chest. "Have you lost your mind, Ogechi? Do you want to bring shame upon this family?" But Ogechi was determined. Despite the threats and pleas from her family, she continued to see Kene in secret. They knew they couldn't stay in the village. Their love would never be accepted. One moonless night, they made a pact to leave the village and start afresh in the city. They gathered their belongings, and with mostly Ogechi's savings, they set out on their journey, determined to build a new life together. Arriving in the bustling city, Kene and Ogechi found themselves in a world vastly different from the village. The city was alive with noise and movement, but it also held opportunities. They rented a small apartment and used Ogechi's savings to start a small business selling traditional crafts. Life in the city was challenging, but their love gave them strength. They faced discrimination from fellow Igbos who recognized Kene's Osu status, but the city's diversity also meant they met people who didn't care about such things. Ogechi's skills in business and Kene's craftsmanship made their small venture a success. They were soon able to expand, opening a small shop. Despite the constant warnings from their parents back in the village, they decided to get married. Their wedding was a very small, intimate affair, attended by a few friends they had made in the city. Ogechi wore a small, beautiful white dress, and Kene looked dashing in a traditional Igbo attire. They vowed to support and love each other through thick and thin, their hearts full of hope for the future. Their parents had literally cursed the marriage and had refused to attend. Months after their wedding, Kene fell seriously ill. He was bedridden, and Ogechi was beside herself with worry. She took him to hospitals and clinics, but the doctors couldn't pinpoint the cause of his illness. Desperate, she turned to prayer, dragging Kene to different churches where they prayed fervently for his recovery. Miraculously, Kene began to recover. The doctors were shocked, but Ogechi believed it was their prayers that had healed him. This experience strengthened their bond and their faith, giving them a renewed determination to work harder and even build a better life. With Kenya's health restored, they threw themselves into their work with renewed vigor. Their business flourished and they saved enough money to buy a house. Despite their success, the warnings from their parents continued to haunt them. They received letters urging them to return to the village as soon as possible and end their marriage. But they remained steadfast in their love and commitment to each other. One evening, as they sat in their cozy living room, Ogechi brought up an idea she had been considering for a while. Kene, what if we moved abroad? We could give our children a better life, free from the prejudices of our people. Kenya looked thoughtful. Well, it's a big step, Ogechi, but if it means a better life for our family, I'm really willing to do it. They began to make their plans, researching countries where they could start anew. With their combined earnings and careful savings, they managed to secure visas and tickets. It was a bittersweet moment when they boarded the plane, leaving behind the country they loved, their parents, but also the prejudices that had tried to tear them apart. In their new country, they found new challenges, but also found new opportunities. They worked hard, and Ogechi eventually gave birth to their first child, a beautiful baby girl they named Adaeze. Their joy was immeasurable, and they were determined to provide her with every opportunity they had not had. They maintained contact with their families back home, but the warnings and disapproval never ceased. Still, Kenya and Ogechi were happy, and they were confident that their love would see them through any challenge. Kenya and Ogechi worked tirelessly to build a life for themselves and their growing family. Their business continues to thrive, and they were able to buy a larger home. They had 2 more children, a boy named Chinedu and another girl named Nneka. Despite the constant warnings from their families still back in the village, they were determined to provide a life with a loving and supportive environment. They never even mentioned the caste system to their children. As their children grew, Kiani and Ogechi instilled this value of hard work, perseverance, and love. Though they taught them about their Igbo heritage, they also taught them about the importance of acceptance and equality. They wanted their children to be proud of their roots, but also to understand that everyone deserves respect despite of their background. One day, as they were celebrating Ada's 10th birthday, they received a call from Ogechi's father. He had softened over the years and was genuinely happy to hear about her success. He even expressed a desire to visit them. "We would love to have you, Papa," Ogechi said, tears of joy streaming down her face. "Our home is always open to you." Kenya and Ogechi welcomed her father with open arms, and he was impressed by the life they had built. He apologized for the pain he had caused and acknowledged that their love and determination had proven stronger than any prejudice. Despite this reconciliation, Kenya's family remained distant. His OSU status was still a barrier they couldn't overcome. Nevertheless, Kenya and Ogechi found solace in their own family, their love, and their faith. Years went by, and Kenya and Ogechi's children grew into fine young adults. Adaeze excelled in school and had dreams of becoming a doctor. Chinedu was passionate about engineering, and Nneka showed a keen interest in the arts. Life seemed perfect until one fateful day when Kenya fell ill again. This time, the illness was more severe, and the doctor struggled to diagnose the problem. Ogechi was devastated, but she remained strong for her family. "We've overcome so much, Kene. Don't worry. We'll get through this too," she said, holding his hand. Ogechi took Kene to different specialists, but his condition worsened. She turned to prayer, visiting the churches around and seeking divine intervention. Despite her efforts, Kene's health continued to decline. One evening, as Ogechi sat by Kene's bedside, he took her hand and looked into her eyes. "Ogechi, my love, you have been my strength through everything. Look, no matter what happens, know that I love you and our children more than anything in the world." Tears streamed down Ogechi's face. "Don't talk like this, Kene. We still have a long life to live together. Our children need you. I need you." Kene smiled weakly. "You are the strongest person I know, Ogechi. Promise me you'll take care of our children and continue to build the life we've dreamed of." "I promise, Kene. But you must fight too. We need you." Despite their hopes and prayers, Kene's condition deteriorated. The Lord that had carried them through so many trials now faced its greatest test. Kene passed away peacefully one night, leaving Ogechi and their children heartbroken. His death was a devastating blow, but Ogechi knew she had to remain strong for their children. She arranged a funeral that honored Kene's life and love they had shared. The community rallied around them, offering support from afar and condolences. Even those who had once disapproved of their union came forward, acknowledging the strength and love they had found in Kene and Ogechi's relationship. As she stood by Kene's grave, Ogechi reflected on their journey. They had defied societal norms, faced prejudice, and built a life together. Their love had been tested in ways she had never imagined, but it had remained steadfast and true. Years passed, and Ogechi continued to raise their children in the same values she and Kene had cherished. Adeze fulfilled her dream of becoming a doctor, Chinedu became an engineer, and Nneka pursued a life successful in arts. They carried their father's legacy with pride, knowing that his love and determination had paved way for their success. Ogechi never remarried. She found solace in the memories of her life with Kene and the love of their children. She became a respected figure in the neighborhood, known for her strength, resilience, and unwavering for support for her family. The story of Kene and Ogechi became a cherished tale in their village, a testament to the power of love and determination. It also served as a reminder that true love could transcend societal barriers, and the human spirit could overcome even the greatest of challenges. In the end, Kene and Ogechi's love left a lasting legacy, one that could inspire generations to come. It was a story of love, loss, and triumph, a celebration of the human spirit's ability to endure and thrive against all odds.